So leaning up against the wall, again, we'll go nice deep breath in, rolling every vertebrae down, and back up. Perfect. We're going to do 5 of those for those that are watching at home. Moving on, we're going to go elbows against the wall, hands against the wall if you can get them, and try and keep your head against the wall as well. If all of it doesn't fit, that's all right. You're going to come up, stretch high up above your head, and back down. Trying to keep everything on the wall as much as you can. If it doesn't make it, that's okay. It's still a pretty good stretch. Up, breathing in on the way up, and out on the way down. You're going to go for 6 more like this. Coming up, breathing in, and out as you come down. And 3 to go. Making sure you're squeezing those shoulder blades as you come up. And release on the way down. And a big fast one. All the way up. And all the way down. Give yourself a little shake out if you need to between this one. Before we get off the floor completely, try and keep your elbows on the wall here. Same position as we were. Trying to open that chest up by bringing the elbows out. Sorry, hands out and back in. If you can, try and keep those elbows on the wall. You're going to open the chest here and back into center. Don't rush these ones, really feel where your body wants to go. And then bring it back in. Out on the way up. And in on the way in. We'll go for 6 more of these ones. Four, and 2 more. And 6. Perfect. Open your shoulders are nice and open after those ones. Next one we want to do is standing up against the wall here. One leg forward, one leg back. It's the leg that's closest to the wall that you want forwards and the opposite one out backwards. Both arms out the front. And from here, try not to twist your head too much, just the arms. We're going to stretch out the body here and back into the center. So you make a bit of a starfish shape here. These are similar to the book openers that we did last week on the floor. But as you stretch out, you want to breathe out and in on the way back in. Your hips shouldn't move too much with this one as well. Try and keep them nice and straight. Opening up, following along with your head if you want that extra stretch, and back in. In total, I want you to go for about 10 of these on each side. Really feel that nice stretch at the end. Take a few breaths there if you need to, and back to the center. I've lost count, but I'd say we've got about 5 more here. These are really nice if you've been sitting at that desk all day, feel your shoulders are a bit hunched. Nice to get a little moving. 4 and 5. And then we'll rotate our bodies to do the same thing. So forward legs is the one closest to the wall. Keeping the hips nice and straight, arm out in front of you. You're going to open that chest up as far as you can comfortably reach and back in. So we'll go for 10 on this side as well, just to even everything out. Breathing out on the way out, in on the way back in. Ready to carry. And 10, perfect. Rounds might be a bit sore from keeping those ones up. If they do seem to get a bit sore and you want to do these ones in your own time, you can do them with your arms just down a bit lower. Still the same sort of stretch, but not as hard. So moving on from here, if everyone's got a chair or something they can sit on, that's perfect. This one's a bit of a stretch for people that are in the office or doing a lot of sitting at home. First one we're going to do, if you can get it there, bring your foot up to the opposite knee, trying to make a bit of a figure 4 position, we'll call it here. It's a bit squishy to get into. If you can't quite get it flat, it's okay if it's up here. But from here, we're going to bend our bodies in towards the front of the knee and back out. Should feel a bit tight through this side that you've got the bent knee on. Coming in. We're going to hold this position here for 2 or 3 breaths in and out. Perfect. And then releasing back out of it. Making sure we're not forcing that knee down, just breathing into it. And then we'll go to the other side. Same thing, nice fit square position. And leaning into it, not forcing it so far that it's uncomfortable, but holding it here for 2 or 3 breaths. And back into the center. There will be one side that's tighter than the other, and that's absolutely okay. Might be needing to do a few more of these ones at home. And we'll switch back to the other side. Come in. You can rock back and forwards a little bit with these ones if you like. 2 or 3 breaths here. I can already feel this hip starting to get a bit more mobile for me. And flipping over to the other side, same thing. Leaning into it. You know, see. Perfect. While we're in this position, you'll straighten out your legs here. Oh, can't see my feet. But straightening out the legs, we're just going to get you to flex and extend those ankles. So point the toes down, bring them back up towards your head. Down and up. At the same time, do the same thing with your wrists. So point down, point up. Down and up. Keeping with this momentum, we're just going to go until we feel like there's a bit of a release through the front of the shins and back of the wrists. If it's a bit clicky and poppy, that's okay. Just means it's warming up to the movements. We'll go for 5 more of these ones. Making sure both the feet and the hands are going at the same time. 4 and 5. And then we're going to do some circles instead. So with the feet and the wrists going at the same time, try and go out and in. Mine are a little bit clicky, you can probably hear through my headphones. Trying to go for 10 one way. Bit of a coordination challenge, this one as well, both the feet and the hands at the same time. 9, 10. And then try and go opposite way. So if you've gone one way with the circles, try and reverse that way. And the opposite way as well. Beautiful. The Before we get off this chair, we're going to do a little low back stretch here. Bring these knees just a bit further than hip distance apart. If you can, you want to get the elbow on the inside of one of these knees here, so leaning forwards into it. If you can, bring that hand down towards your foot. If not, it's fine to stay here. But we want to reach this opposite hand up towards the sky, just so it's pointing up ahead of you. Follow it with your head as well to really get that full stretch. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and then back down. So holding this position here, up towards the sky, deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Go for 2 more on this side. And back down. Right. So we'll do the same thing on the other side here. Elbow on the inside of the knee, hand either down towards your foot. You can hold your head with it as well if you really feel that. Reaching up with your opposite hand towards the sky. 2 deep breaths in, 2 deep breaths out. And back down. You can really feel it stretch through that middle back and a little bit through the side here. Up into the sky. And down. We'll go for 2 more here. Might even feel it behind that shoulder if you're pretty stuck through there like me. Perfect. And then coming back up to center. Now this next one, there's a few variations on what you can do, but because we've got a chair here, you might as well use it. So it's a bit of a hip flexor stretch here. Try and get, if you can, 1 foot onto the top of the chair, the other foot just on the base of it. And from here, just lean your back hip forwards into here and back out. Should be a bit of a stretch through the front of your hip by having your foot up against the back of the chair. Coming into the stretch and back out. Trying to keep these hips nice and straight. In and out. The alternative to this one is not using that chair. You can come into a stretch here or down onto the knees, pressing forwards and back. We're trying to go into 5 of these here and then we'll progress it. And for our progressions, arms out in front of you. As you come into that lean forwards, we're going to bring the arms up ahead. Feel that stretch through the front of that. And back into center. Breathing in, arms up to the sky. Breathing out as they come back down. And last one. Perfect. And then we'll swap it to the other side. So we'll do the same thing here. If you feel like one side's a bit stiffer than the other, you can do more on that side. But leaning into that stretch. Hold it in just a little bit. And back up. We're going for 5 here. 3. 4. And 5. And if you're up for the challenge of using the arms, as we come into the stretch, arms above your head, in, and out on the way back down. 5 more of these ones. Sorry, 4 more. And last one. Beautiful. It's a nice deep stretch for anyone that's been sitting at that desk all day. So moving on to our next one here, we'll get everybody down onto the floor. If you've got a comfortable space. A bit of a Pilates exercise and the stretch movement with this one. Bring those hips just further than hip width apart here. We'll go arms out straight in front of you. Start with some nice deep breathing. And breathe all the way in, sitting up nice and straight. And all the way out, stacking the vertebrae on top of one another. Nice deep breath in. And all the way out. If this can't be done with the straight legs, you can bring them into a bend if it feels uncomfortable. But from here, you're going to move into a bit of a twist. So on the breathe in, you would like to rotate your body to opposite hand towards opposite foot. Bending a little bit towards that foot if you can reach it. Back to center and rotate. So breathing in. Rotate towards the opposite foot. Breathe out. In and coming back to center. We call this one a bit of a corkscrew. It's corkscrew. Corkscrew, if you can imagine what that would look like. So rotating away, touching the foot, back to center and around. These ones are a little bit hard. Making sure we're really focusing on the breathing with these. Breathe in, twist, breathe out, in and back to center. Try and go for 2 more of these ones on each side. And last one. Perfect. Okay, last few little exercises here. We'll get everyone lying onto your backs. If you've got a pillow onto your head, perfect. If not, it's okay. And just on your chest here. Oh, sorry, on your hips. I want you to imagine your pelvis is like a big bowl here. In that bowl, your belly button's going to be like a marble. So we're going to roll that pelvis towards your head, like you're rolling that marble towards your head, without lifting your back off the floor. Squashing that spine down, and roll it back the other way. So it's not going to be a massive movement here, just enough that you should feel a bit of mobility happening through that low back. So rolling towards your head, squashing that low back down, and then rolling towards your feet, just accentuating that arch in the back a little bit. Nice and slowly with these ones, you don't want to rush them. Roll towards the head, and back towards the feet. These ones are also really nice if you've woken up feeling really stiff in the morning. Back to center, rolling the other way. Go for 4 more here. 4 up and backs, towards the head, and back towards the feet. There you go. No set breathing with this one, just whatever feels more comfortable for you. And 2 more. All right. While we're still on the floor here, stretching those arms out to the sides, if it feels comfortable for you, keeping those feet about hip distance apart here. We're going to rotate those hips to the side. And back to the middle. So rotating to the side here. And back to the center. If possible, try to keep that low back onto the floor and just moving through the hips. And if you feel like you get more of a stretch to go all the way over, you can do that as well. So rocking from side to side, So you're breathing in as you roll and out to come back to center. Beautiful. 3 more of these each way. And then last one's here. Our last one of the day, we're going to do some nice deep breathing to put us in a mood to get back to work or back to what we were doing. Lying onto our back still, I want one hand on your stomach just below the belly button and one hand above the belly button here. Closing your eyes if it makes you feel more comfortable. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and all the way out. Should feel one hand rises more than the other. On your next deep breath in and out, try and make sure those hands both rise about the same. So you might need to press a little bit more through those lower abs, the upper abs, depending on how you feel. Take a deep breath in. And back to center. This one here, go for 3 seconds breathing in. And 3 seconds on the way out. Nice deep Pilates breathing. The more audible it is, the more you comprehend it. And we'll progress this little one to 4 seconds here. So breathing in for 4. And out. One more of this 4 seconds. And we'll try for 5 if we feel like we've got the ability to do so. A little bit harder. Nice deep breath in through the nose for 5. And out through the mouth for 5. Beautiful. Very nice. Hopefully we feel a little bit more stretched, a little bit more relaxed after that one. Apologies to everyone again for starting this recording a little bit late, but I'll probably be running another class next week and I'm sure I'll be on top of the technology issues by then. It's lovely to have you all on. If you have any issues, send us an email and we'll get back to you about it. But nice to see everyone. Thanks for coming in.